Thank everybody for tuning in and watching the preview of this set. A set that we're very proud of here at RoseBird. And on behalf of Bob and myself, we want to thank everyone that's, again, watching the preview, customers in the past or customers that are future customers. We look forward to working with all of you guys. I think this set could do a lot of good in terms of where they're going to be heading to. I think these things could play down south very well, or even just here in the north on the jackpot circuit and what we have. I think there's a little bit of everything for everyone in terms of feeding or just in size and look. Again, we just want to thank everybody. Without you guys, this sale wouldn't be possible, and our show pig deal wouldn't be as strong as what it's been going. And we look forward to working with everybody. And thanks again before the sale, and we look forward to talking to everybody the day of the sale. The sale is going to be on October 3rd. Reach out to me, reach out to Jim, whatever it may be. Our numbers will be on the sale. Answer any questions, any concerns you may have. Just reach out to us, and whatever questions, again, we just thank them. 14-4 is in here right now. This would be a Glory Days Endgame Skull and Bones. This would be a daughter out of the 15s that are in this sale. One that this is only her second litter. She would have had the top 3 leadoff pigs in our fall sale. One that we are absolutely building on. This is straight from the sow herd. One that's only maybe her second litter, but there's 4 mate brothers in this sale that I think have a lot of potential. And whether you're looking for a boar or an absolute stud of a show pig, I love these things to death. Again, pedigree would be Glory Days Endgame Skull and Bones.
Really neat opportunity. This litter here is really good. This will be the pounds heavy one in this particular litter, and again, dual purpose wise, there's no stipulation on what they bring or whether you keep them for a boar. So a great opportunity here. And this one particularly, not to take anything away from him as a Barra, but for a boar prospect, man, his skull is awesome and really square coming at you. There's a lot of hog there. He's big and square in his body, square in his top.
I just love when the hind leg works like that. That's my favorite thing.
He's going to be an extreme kind of a boar that's still problem free, and if he's a Barra, feed him a shot slower, and he's still going to be the stud in the ring that you need him to be as a Barra too. Just a very great, neat opportunity here. And again, with this Glory Days deal back on the end game, a bunch of the never before deal, and goes back through the Cinderella sow there on the top side of that deal. Again, great opportunity here genetically also.
14-6 in here. Again, I know we might sound a little repetitive on this, but for the video and when we're going to post these lots online, Glory Days Endgame Skull and Bones. Again, mom of these pigs is the daughter of the 15 litters that's in the sale. Sow that we are building around tremendously. This is her second litter. Again, we said that there's 4 mate brothers in here. I think just pick your poison on all 4 of them. We are absolutely in love with this litter. There is 3 mate sisters that are back in the bottom barn getting fed on this year. One that we got along real good with so far. There's some mates out there from her gilt litter down in Texas that will be getting shown here soon that the McKinley family has. I think this one that's in here right now is just a green one that is going to just grow up and keep getting better. These things are hairy, they're stout, they're good made, and they're square coming and going. I think they're balanced tremendously well and still have a flexible hind leg that works the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, this is be a pounds lighter one in the group, and you would sure anticipate, end point on this one probably topping out in that Houston to OYE type of range at that end of February, early March, and beyond if you got some other stuff going on. But I mean, these ought to be ready by then and be just about prime where they need to be. And this is another neat combination, one that really has a neat looking kind of a front end and a big set of bones and a very boxy proportionate kind of length of body for everything else. I love the immaturity this hog's got, and he's got muscle, but it's green in its look. A great big set of bones, really good stout set of feet with a strong set of pasterns. And there's a lot of hog there, but he's able to bend his hind leg back and reach back with his hock the way he needs to. Very good opportunity there. Again, a very neat looking one, ought to feed like a dream.
14-7, and now again the Glory Days deal has been extremely well for us. This Glory Days Endgame Skull and Bones. The 14-7 one, this one might be my favorite one. I think this one, in terms of being a show barrel, this guy's got a lot of future ahead of him. In terms of hip, hind leg, he maybe don't have the big...
I wish this one was selling in the spring. He'd be fun to feed in the Midwest.
He's a tall-shouldered, maybe prettier from the side one. I think this whole litter, if I lied to you, Bob and I probably catch each other staring in at this pen the most. I would be willing to argue that these are.
I like that one.
I love this guy.
Not to doubt well on the other one, but if I was going to buy one today, that's the one I'd buy.
And just 2 short litters. And again, we have 3 gilts back in the barn, offering the 4 boars that were in the litter. What you see is what there was. There was nothing separated out of this. There's nothing that didn't make the sale cut. I think all 4 of them are tremendous in the way that they're made. I just think this one here reads to be an absolute monster of a show barrel, one that just is so good from a side and balanced. His skull's big. He's got a good hind leg still. See what Jim says about him.
I really like this off-belt pig. I mean, he's sure my kind. I mean, I love a hog that has a good look out of their front end and keeps some stoutness to him. You know, the length in front of his blade is really good and has that neat-looking kind of a jaw line, but still has stoutness of skull. That's a big set of bones and the correct kind of feet, and looks like his toes are going to wear the right way. And the most impressive thing, I guess, to me is with that kind of look out of his front end and the stoutness behind it is the greenness and immaturity, but his angles are so good on both ends. I mean, he's great out of his shoulder, and he lays back the way they need to. He's not straight from shoulder to knee, and there's a lot of that going on these days. You get a correct one that has all those extras, you're going to beat those ones that have that one outlying trait that is very special, and this is a problem-free, good-looking one, heavy structured, right kind of maturity. Wish this one was selling in the spring. He'd be fun to feed in the Midwest.
14-8 in here now. Again, we've talked this litter on the last 3, and Glory Days Endgame Skull and Bones. I don't think I can say enough personally about the Glory Days boar and what he's done for our herd, and I think what he's doing in Sloan and Hildy's herd. We had the opportunity to get on that boar and we got him bought. We were super happy, and it paid off tremendously for us. Put him back on this sow. We like this sow a whole bunch from our gilt litter. This is, like I said, our 2nd litter. These are the 4 boars that we're keeping. I think something maybe to just in terms of promoting the Glory Days boar, this is one of the frailer sows we have on the farm, Jim. And I think and what Glory Days does for you as a herd in terms of what you need to use them on, I think protect him in very little places. If you can put him on the stout ones, and he'll make you good. And his hip and hind legs incredible. He makes them hairy and he makes them burly. I think, like I said, this one's one of our frailer sows on the farm. I don't think these boar pigs represent very much frailness to them at all. I think they represent Glory Days and what he can do for your herd, and what he's been doing for our herd and the rest of the guys that have been able to use him. I think he's just a tremendous boar, and ones that we're looking forward to this winter when we got him bred back on a pile more.
Well, speaking of that mother, you know, being frailer, that's not necessarily a negative term. It's talking sow families when you have multiple females out of a sow, and what we call them generators. You know, and you found the generator out of this litter, regardless of whether she was the show pig or the heavy structured one herself in the ring. It's the fact that she's able to regenerate and recreate something that maybe is going to be better than herself, and that's a testimony of a very good breeding hog. And this is back to the pig here, another very proportionate one. It has show ring proportions of length and extension up front, good fronted hog, square chested, heavy boned, stout pastern, boxy length of bodied, and there's more to him. He's going to take a little more management on the kind of the way you go away. He still sets him square. He's on the edge there, and you can feed that one a little less protein and probably be exactly where you need to be. That one there is just no excuses. I mean, that one's just a solid hog. It has a good look, heavy structured, right proportions, a neat pig with a really good pedigree.
15-1 would be the off-belt, the gilt in this litter. These 15s are to the extreme girt, which is the Skull and Bones Rockstar sow from Harnham. These 2 gilts are coming straight out of the sow herd. It hurts us tremendously to even offer these 2. I don't know if we talked about the daughter of the 14s. This is the mom. This is also one that just came back in here and generated. She would originated from the Farnham herd. We've gotten along extremely well with the Farnham sows, and I don't think that's a stranger to anybody else. The Farnham sows have done well in other guys' barns, and what he's done in the boar game has been extremely well. Again, it hurts us to offer these 2, but I think these 2 are dual purpose. And whether you want to take these things and go win some shows with them and then bring them back and put them in the crate, I look for these things to be able to generate livestock and generate good livestock that has done very well here in terms of winning shows or just producing dollars per litter. these two are right from the herd and right from the heart of the herd. We no strangers to some pretty good sows and some pretty high dollar sows, but one I think I always resort back to would be the Gert sow, and this is right from these ones. Also, the mom of these ones would have been the mother of the champion at Georgia, the tricked out son. There is two of those daughters back in the barn right now that we got bred back to Glory Days and the Extreme Measures board that we purchased. Looking forward to breeding on those things and ones that are in the arena right now. We bred around that tricked out boar. Or the Extreme boar, and we thought these things were going to be extremely good, and boy, we're happy with what we got out of this litter.
This looks like one that you could start jackpotting early with because of early stoutness of feature. That one's got a really good skull, stout, broad muzzle on that one, wide between its eyes and ears, and has the right kind of shape to the skull to be impressive coming out of the gate. Heavy structured hog. It's very proportionate, square boxing its rib and body, square in its rump, an abundance of muscle, but still the right kind. It gives you a good look when it cocks off and gets its head cranked up there and goes. Neat kind of a hog, stout pattern, and look like a very nice off-belted gilt.
15.3s out here now. It's a solid black boar, and I think take away the color of this one and just study the hog. I love this animal. I think you put a belt on him, he's even better, but I don't mind the color at all on him. When they look like this, we like to offer them. Mom of this one would be the Gert sow. Daddy's the To the Extreme. Again, a sow that we've built on extremely hard here at RoseBird, and one that we're proud to offer despite the color.
Yeah, again, this one's just a no excuses hog. That's a very good balance, very problem-free hog with extras. He's not vanilla by any means. He's got a stout skull, very good on his heaviness of structure. I like his angles out of his shoulder and the way he sets up front and squares up really good behind. Again, no excuses. Not one that's going to be, I don't think this will be a hard one to feed on, because you can do a lot of things that are pretty special with this one and accentuate a lot of what he's already got because he's very problem-free. And just get past the color. I mean, I think it's a long overdue to get past that color. We've watched a lot of pure black ones, Barras and Gilts, kick everybody's butt in a bunch of these major rings around the country, and we just need to get past that and just buy good ones, and this is a good one.
15.5 is the belted barrel in the litter. To the Extreme on the Gert sow. Again, we talked this one on the ones prior to him, but the mom of this one would be the mom of the Georgia barrel last year. He'd be in a tricked out son. We bred this one back on To the Extreme and in hopes to make a litter that we thought was going to be sellable, and we think we got her there. Always said we offer in 3 boars and a barrel and 2 gilts. There is 3 other gilts that we're keeping down in the bottom barn, but again, we talk these 15s and we talk the 14s as being mates, moms, and mom and daughter litter is there. I think it just shows a lot of quality in the sow power behind that Farnham sow and what she's done for us, and one that we build on very hard here at RoseBird. This is the litter. None of these things have gotten sifted out. What she had is what she's offering, or they're not offered in the sale. They're just staying back and being in our keeper pen.
Yeah, again, these pigs are being fed in pens with on feeders, and this is one here that will I think surprise you once this one kind of gets out on its own. You know, on whatever type feeding program you want, he'll get out swamped here a little bit with some of these bigger, stouter ones. And he's a green, immature, good-looking one with the right length of body, very boxy, his build, good looking out of his front end. And again, kind of get him on his own turf there and allow him to catch up just a little dab there. I think you're going to be amazed how stout that one is going to get in a pretty quick fashion.
15.7 would be the predominantly black one. There is a little bit of white on her side and just in hair, not necessarily in the skin tone. Again, the one that just comes straight from the heart of the sow herd. We kept 3 gilts out of this. I think there's 4 boars we're offering, and we wanted to offer the two best gilts in the litter, and I think we picked them out and sorted them correctly. These things I'm in love with. Again, pedigree To the Extreme on the Gert sow. Again, the Gert sow would be the mom to the Georgia barrel that the Bowden family would have fed for us, that Luca Hay would have showed down there. Again, dual purpose. If you want to take these things and just put them in your barn and breed on them, I look for these things to be able to do tremendous things in the crate for you. or you want to get a stick on these things and get them out there, I think these things could do very well in the show arena also.
Again, the right proportions, neat looking one up front, immature, slick looking out of its head and neck, the right kind of length of body, and again, just a good solid basic hog. Again, no excuses, no problems, just a good one that can get out there and go. Good strong feet on this one, right kind of length of body to blend with everything else. Very neat looking out of its front end, look like it can be fed pretty hard and roll right on.
15-8 is going to be the kind of white-legged one there, again, to the extreme on the Gert Sow, so to the extreme, Skull and Bones Rockstar. I think there's 3 boars in a barrel, and then we offered them 2 gilts. I think this one's extremely good, and whether you want the little green one or the big burly one, this kind of litter had a little both the option. But again, I think this one's awfully good in the way that he's made. He's just a little green immature. His sheaf's a little big there, you guys, and we guarantee that thing to get fixed for you. If you get it home and get it fixed and it don't come out 100%, we do guarantee that. But we looked at him. Bob's a veterinarian here in Pennsylvania. We got to look at it. We don't think it's a rupture, just a little big. Might just be a piss pocket there for you guys to get fixed on him, but like I said, we guarantee him completely.
Yeah, very nice bear. This was kind of an intermediate one on pounds, probably where we're at on, again, that end of February, early March, Hawaii type of age deal. Good looking one, tall fronted. Love his stoutness of skull and that jawline that he's got. Some boldness, square chested kind of a hog, right length of body, and the right kind of muscle. He's got muscle, got shape, but it's the right kind. And again, that sheath thing, boy, back in the day, you used to have to worry about that with the urine pocket there, having to squeeze that deal out every time you walked in. Now anymore, you get the right vet to pull the diverticulum out. It's no big deal. It just goes away, almost looks like a gilt. So no issues there whatsoever. Again, a green, neat-looking one with the right proportions.
15-10 in here, maybe the greenest and smallest of the 15 litters. The pedigree on that one would be a to the extreme on the Gert Sow, so to the extreme Skull and Bones Rockstar is the bottom side of that. That's a sow that's done an awful lot here for us. I think there's 3 other mate brothers in the sale, and we're offering 2 gilts out of that. This one would be straight out of the herd. This one, for terms of sow power and where she's at, this thing's done a lot of good. Mama, this one last summer, the same time, would have been make the heavyweight champion at Georgia. To be a tricked out one that the Bowden family would have fed for us. One thing with this sow, and you'll see it in the rest of the litters that comes in, these things are green and little right now, and when they get older, these things just stay burly. They stay super hairy. They grow really good for families. I think this one's got a lot of life ahead of it in terms of where it's feeding and how it's going.
This one looks like a feeder's dream to me. Very green, skinny, good built, awesome looking out of its front end. Really good angle to its bones and joints, and everything reaches really good. And then you look at proportions, the right kind of length of body, bear proportioned, with a good looking kind of a front end, a big set of bones, extra good kind of reach. This looks like one that you can just grab a hold of because it's very problem free and very immature, and in his look is one you could feed really hard on and just keep rolling right on with him because he's very correct in his skeleton. He's going to add feature as he goes.
That 16.5 pig would be the belt in that litter. That's another H&H pig, a boar that we have here, the tricked out foresight boar we've been using on quite a few sows here. I think in bone and hind leg, this thing's got a massive leg. He's hairy. He makes them correct in the way that they're made. They grow real well. This is his second turn through our barn, and we've been very happy with those pigs. Bottom side is the no intro, never before sow. Again, the blue sow that the Gallagher family here in Pennsylvania would have showed and got along real good with. I think both of these in the sale, there's 2 blues in this belted off-colored one. I think ones that are just going to keep on getting better. Boar-wise, this thing, like I said, that guy is super stout. He's super hairy. I know there's no pictures of him out there, but been one here at the farm a lot of guys have liked. We've been selling quite a bit of semen on him also and generating very good hogs out of him.
This little belted pig really has neat proportions. Got a neat blend of being a one that's extended up through his front end and has some extension of head and neck, but still has stoutness of feature. There's some dimension to that skull and some jawline. Very heavy structured, proportionate kind of length of body, boxy in his build, but still immature up through his front end. And he's got early muscle and squareness at top and having some stifle shape behind, but still looks immature in his overall design look. Great big hind-legged hog, still is able to reach and flex his hock good. Really nice kind of an off-belt bearer.
The blue barrel in the arena right now is the 16-6. That'd be a H&H pig that is a boar that we bred here at the farm. He's a tricked out foresight. Mom of that pig would be the Beth Jr. sow that we have here. It'd be a mate brother to the Putting Out Fires boar. Bottom side of that's no intro, never before. It'd be the blue gilt that the Gallagher family here in Pennsylvania would have won the high points with 2 years ago. Sow, this is her gilt litter, done real well so far at the farm for us. I think there's 4 in this sale. We like this bunch a good deal. If you're looking into that light cross division, there's another mate brother in the sale that's just as good as this one.
16-6 has a really good sharp traditional blue kind of color. Like we used to see a lot. It's hard to get out of some of the crossboars now. And this one's got a gun blue look up front and behind, and really a neat one. Good skull, good length in front of its blade, the right kind of proportions, very heavy structured, very stout pastern. Looks like a good feeding hog. It's the right kind of frame size, very proportionate length of body, really good kind of shape, but still green and immature, and still a lot of stoutness of indicators.
We get on that blue one, the 16-8. He's probably the bigger framed one in the group of the blues. We don't make too many blues here, and when we do, we get real excited. I love showing the blues. We like feeding on them. I think this guy offers some big pieces. Again, pedigree on that one, H&H, the tricked out son that we have here. Bred back on the no intro, never before sow. That sow would have originated from Will. Again, the Gallagher family would have showed that one. This is her gilt litter. We kept a bunch of these gilts back. We offered these 3 boars. We thought they had a lot of potential in the show arena. Ones that we think are going to feed very well. And the stout, like I said, Daddy's super stout. He's real hairy. These things mature up. This is his 2nd season being used here. We got a bunch more bred back to him for this winter. Boar that we believe in pretty hard. I think ones that, again, are going to feed well, going to do well in the future for people, and just keep on getting better.
This will be kind of the pounds heavy one of some of the pigs out of this particular litter, so he's kind of got the jump on some as far as being ahead of him a little. Where he's at in his stage of pounds and growth-wise, he's a real stout skulled hog that's very wide-chested, heavy structured hog that's very good in his pasterns, good elevation to him, kind of the right length of body, and again, a lot of early muscle. He'll take a little more management, probably feed him just a shot slower is probably where he'll fit best, and again, because of his pounds, he's going to be in good shape from that aspect too. Again, very good traditional blue, very attractive in his color pattern, very nice hog. It's particularly front 2/3 are really, really stout in his skull, really good in his front end.
Yeah, 13-1 there on the stick right now, and Gory Days never before. And we talked about how we are not offering too many of those Gory Day gilts and how many we are keeping back. This is one that maybe one of the most exciting ones, I think, in the sale for me. I think this thing's tremendously good and has a bright future. And I think, again, another one that's kind of dual threat for you. You could get this thing in the show arena, and I think this thing in the crate could do very well for you also. Again, one of my favorite ones in the gilt-wise in the sale. One I think just could do very good for you.
Yeah, this one really has to excite you just for the way that one's built. That one is the right kind of maturity that's going to be fun to feed. That one looks like a lady. I mean, if you want to go that a breeding gilt show or a market gilt show, what have you, I mean, that one's built right, and that one could go early and go for a long, long time.
Yeah,
and I'm talking a long time, because that one's got the right proportions and everything put together. Now, she's not as stout featured in her skull, but she's feminine. There's still some jaw there. And again, as she matures and gets over a period of time, that's going to stouten up because of pedigree the way it is. Bones are the right kind, clean joints, absolutely not a tight joint in her body. Watch her reach and go off of both ends and squares up the way she needs to. That one's going to be an absolute feeder's dream.
The 13-2 would be the one of the only gilts that we're going to offer out of the Gory Days boar. We offered one of them out at the Game Day Live sale in Ohio, and we're going to offer 2 out of this litter. Gory Days never before is the pedigree on this one, and then I think it just stands a testament of these things haven't been offered too many gilts out of the Gory Days boar. I think there's 40-some gilts down below. Large majority of them things are Gory Days, and we believe in the boar. We believe in what his daughters are going to do in the future. Kind of neat opportunity in terms of whether you want to be another one to show gilt or just be kind of ahead of the curve. Like I said, those Gory Days haven't been offered too awful much, and we think that they're going to do tremendous things in the crate. Just in the short time that boar has been able to be viewed by his offspring, I think that thing's going to do extreme things for us, and we've been using them extremely hard for this winter too.
This little painted up gilt here, it's kind of the green skinny one out of the group, lighter on pounds, and good livestock comes in all shapes and sizes, and that's good livestock. That one has a really good looking front end, length out in front of her blade's excellent, the right length of body, reach and go is very good, greener in its body and greener in its rib and its muscle, and that's okay. I mean, that's, again, we get these off individually and kind of sort them out on their own feeding program and let them kind of catch up and get some of the bosses out of the way, out of the feeder. We're going to watch those hogs blossom pretty daggone quick, and that one is the type and kind with the kind of bone and that kind of presence and profile. That's one you could really anticipate right out of the gate, that very first jackpot show, looking pretty special in that early class.
13-3 is the black-headed boar in the litter. The pedigree would be Gory Days Never Before, and the young sow also kind of got a unique pedigree on the bottom side. She'd be an unlocked Skywire sow. That would be one of the original sows that we would have purchased when we were starting the herd, and one that originated back to the Hildy firm. You know, these Gory Days things have been extremely good for us, and I know they've been very good at Hildy and Sloan's barn. They've been well received by a lot of people. You know, this one may be a little off-colored, but I don't think you guys should look too far past this one. I think this one's still tremendous in the way that he's made. And the way that he tracks and goes is just another testament to the hip and hind leg, and then the way that Gory Day stamps these things. They've been very good, and like I said, very well received around the farm and around the other sales that we've been to that they've been offered at.
This one's really stout, heavy boned, and a neat combination. Again, a great big rib, heavy structured, big forearm, lots of body shape and top shape and rump, but still a good looking one out of its front end. The right kind of jaw line, the right kind of feature out of its front end. Heavy set of bones to match everything you see up high. This hog's a lot, but he's very manageable a lot. I think he still reaches really good with the extra good kind of flex behind. That's a lot of ham end volume working going away, but still very manageable because he's able to reach and go and get behind his tail head with that hock the way you'd like to see. Very interesting hog. That'll be a fun one to feed, and he'll be fed different than a few of them we've looked at, and that's fine. Just accommodate that, and I always let the pig kind of tell you what he needs, and you'll know it when you see the different gear that one needs to take.
13-4, the boar pig on the stick there with the black dot on his rear. Again, Gory Days Never Before. Young sow that looks like she's going to do very well here for us. We were very happy with the ones that we're offering this sale. Again, I think we can talk about depth of litter, and we don't talk about that maybe just enough, but there was 12 in this litter. I think we're putting 6 or 7 in this sale. The rest are still here on the farm and going to get fed out. We're going to see what they do in the crate. We talked about how many of those things we're keeping, and I think there's 40 or 45 gilts down below, and a large majority of them things are Gory Day pigs. We got a bright future for him, we think, and we can't wait to get some of those things in the crate. We can't wait to get these things in the arena. I think he's just, again, done such a tremendous job in a short time. We're just really excited about what this one's have to offer.
Again, repetitious what we've been saying, but again, it's consistency. That one's got the right proportions and the right build. That's a neat fronted one with a big set of bones, boxy length of body, and has top shape, body shape, and there's a lot of muscle behind, but still able to reach and bend off its hind leg with a good looking kind of a front end, a square chest, a square knee, good pasterns on all these hogs we've looked at here today. Again, another one that's going to be a very interesting one down toward the end of February, first half of March. This one, I believe, does have an extra dew claw on the left front leg.
Yes,
I think.
Yes, I think
that
he does.
I don't know if we got that mentioned or not, but that one there again, it's a small one of those small ones. It's not one that looks like an extra leg. It's one that could be clipped off pretty easily and taken care of.
13-3's in there now. That's a Gory Days Never Before, unlocked Skywire, an old pedigree that still offers a lot of good in our herd. And this sow's fairly young for being a Never Before sow. We kind of went back on that a little bit ago, and one that we think is very good in terms of the way that he's made. He's probably the darker black one in the litter, but he's the taller fronted, maybe prettier from the side, maybe not as burly as the mate brothers that he compares with, but I think one that offers a lot of good.
Very neat, very slick looking one. Again, head carriage, elevation up front, extension out in front of its blade, very good. Angles, again, it's repetitious, but Toby's got them bred this way. I mean, they've got that same kind of build, the right kind of proportions. the angles off of both ends. And this one has really good reach. He's not going to wow you with the extras he's got, but man, when you got one that's built this neat looking and the right proportions and that kind of angles and reach, you can do so many things with the feed bucket on that one. He'll be a fun one to feed on. Watch him bend his hind leg and reach back behind his tail head. Again, going to be an interesting one on the bucket.
13.7 there on the stick is the bullseye butted one. Again, pedigree reads Glory Days never before. I think if we study this litter and just how these things are stamped, they're all very similar in the way that they're made. These things got a big hind leg. They're still stout. They still got a lot of feature. And I still think they run uphill and are balanced and correct at the way that they go. You know, this one might be the rugged one and the burly one out of the group, but I still think one that offers a lot of good in the way that he's made.
There's two mates in here in contrasting types. They're both good, but they both probably need to be fed differently on the right kind of protein, like we've been talking on several of them. This one here can be fed slower because there's a lot of hog there. I mean, that one is a really stout-ribbed, big four-armed hog, very heavy structure, got a lot of body shape. There's a lot of early muscle down his top, and he got a great big, thick, square kind of a ham working in him, and a big athletic kind of a hind leg. But he'll definitely need to be fed less protein and a little slower and go over a period of time, and that one will be fun to feed on, just the opposite type of feeding program that you would some of those greener, skinnier ones, but a very neat kind of a pig with a lot to him.
As we got 13.10 in there, another bullseye butted one. Maybe the greener, little skinny one in the group, but still one that I think has got a lot of feature in a way that he's going to grow up and project the way he would get bigger. Again, I think one that you could drag out maybe a little longer than the rest of the ones in that litter, but the Glory Days Unlock stuff has been very good. We talked on ones earlier, and I know we sound repetitive on some of these, and we're going to be putting the video clips into the sale, but I think one that we like a whole lot. Again, the greener, littler one in the group, but don't look much further past him. I still think he has a lot to offer.
Well, again, opposite end of the spectrum from what the other pig, the litter mate in here, and that's fine. It's good. Just he needs to be fed different than what the other one does. And this one has a really green, really square, immature kind of a skeleton with a really good kind of a look. Should be a feeder's dream that you can roll right along to put whatever additives you want and type of protein and additions you have, because he's really the right proportion. You don't have to make any excuses for him on length of body. He's the right length of body for bears, immature in his look, square in his build. Feed him hard and roll on, and again, he'll look really top out in that March range. I think very, very good.
The 12.3 is the off belt, the barrel and the litter here that we're offering out of the sow. Again, boar would be the H&H herd boar that we have here, the tricked out son on the Beth Jr. sow. Back on a goosebump sow that we would have purchased from the Heimer sale from Will. Sow that did a lot of good at the Hildy firm, and this is only her second litter here, but we're looking forward to what she has to offer in the future for us. This three pig, and I know we talked about it on some of these other ones, but these things are they're in a pen with a bunch of other pigs. They're still on 606 on a self feeder. I think you get this one home, you get him calmed down a little bit and just get him coasting into where he needs to be. I think that thing's going to relax in his spine and still be just a burly, good looking one from a side and still track the way that he's supposed to.
Yeah, again, feeding programs, and we regardless of what brand you're on, I mean, hogs got to be fed the right way. The stout one's got to be fed slower, less protein. The green, skinny one's got to be fed more stuff to kind of get everything to mass up. And this is not going to be any different than anything else. He's got a really good skull, right proportions, bone, feet are good. He's got more muscle and a little tighter, as Toby said, they're a little tighter in his spine and behind, and that's a feed thing more than is anything. That hog still squares up very good in his hock, squares up very good in his chest from end to end. He's a solid hog with the right proportions and very good stoutness of feature.
14.4 in here. This is another H&H pig that we have here. The boar would be the tricked out of the Beth Jr. sow that we have. One, again, that we've been using pretty hard here at the farm, and we think he makes them the way that they're supposed to be made. Those things are correct shouldered and the way that they're tie into their hip. This guy's burly and stout. His babies seem to be feeding that way. As I said, his second season we've been feeding on him. Mom of this little gilt here would be the goosebump sow that we would have purchased out of the Heimer sale from Hildy. This would be her second litter, and again, one that we think is working extremely well in our herd. And we offer in two boars and two barrels and a gilt out of that sow. There was other two gilts in that litter that we kept back for ourselves, but this was my favorite one. We wanted to make sure we offered the best gilts that we could to go on and do well in the arena for you guys.
This one looks like one that again could jackpot early and look the part right in that first class of the year. Really good skulled hog. I love the jawline, the squareness of skull. This one's got the stoutness of feature. This one here coming at you really gives you an impression right out the gate. Squareness of chest, good at its knee, good feet, very boxy and bold and square with extra good kind of top and body shape, a big square rump kind of a gilt that again is going to make a good impression. You get a good stick on this one and hit the ring at the right pace, that one's going to make an impression.
12.6 is the narrow belt in the litter and a longer bodied, taller shouldered one. I like this guy a good deal, and whether you want to drag him out, I think early and often, or late and big, I think this guy could do both. That's a H&H pig on the Goosebump sow from Will. One that, again, the sow's done a whole lot here. These would probably be the first ones that are really going to get out and shown. We kept a pile of those things back this winter in her spring litter. I wanted to get a few of these things out there. I thought they offered a lot of good.
This one has a couple of things that are necessary to win Barra shows, and that's basics and balance. And those kind of hogs will if they're fed right and driven right and cared for right, those are the problem-free ones that end up at the top end of the drive because they don't have any of those major glaring problems. This one still has some good pieces without the problems they have to deal with. His skull is really good. He's heavy structured. Again, very good pasterns. His elevation up front's excellent. Everything balanced and blends really good in the way that one profiles. Still squares up really good from end to end with, again, enough of the extras in every angle. You don't have to make any excuses or saying, I wish he had this or wish he had that. He's just solid all the way through. Well, really appreciate everybody watching this preview there today and the individual clips, and make sure to take time to study those and then study the pedigrees and what Toby's talked about. It's my second trip to the RoseBird plantation here, and I always enjoy going through these with Toby and Bob when he's around, and he's a busy man. But this is a very, very impressive set of hogs. And again, my second time through here. The first set was very nice, but man, there are some pieces, Barras and gilt-wise. And I'm talking about showing early jackpot and right on through those majors on through March, and some of these gilt pigs that you can take right on in as heavies to go right on into Expo. And it sounds crazy, but it's a possibility. And I think some real players in this deal. So again, reach out with no hesitation whatsoever to Toby or myself to visit about some of these pigs, because they really need to get some good homes, get a good stick on them, and take them to the backdrop.
I just love when the hind leg works like that. That's my favorite thing.
I like that one.
I love this guy.
Not to doubt Will on the other one, but if I was going to buy one today, that's the one I'd buy. Yep.